We've been going state by state at this moment, trying to give you a sense of what's happened. We've gone to Bengal, we've gone to Tamil Nadu. Let's turn to the state where the BJP believes it scored its biggest victory today, the state of Assam. The numbers show 86 out of 126 to the BJP, just 26 for the Congress. And remember, 5 years ago, the BJP had just 5 seats in this state. So a dramatic reversal. What really happened in Assam? Rahul Kawal is back there in our election pit to give us a sense, Rahul, of exactly how close was this, what really changed in this election in the BJP's favour.
Rajdeep, the Amit Shah Narendra Modi duopoly has had 2 major reverses. The hammering in Delhi followed by the debacle of Bihar. Now, finally, we've got Amit Shah dancing, and he's got reason to dance because in just a moment I'm going to tell you about how and where these numbers are coming from. What we've seen in Assam today is a massive Hindu consolidation of a sort that hasn't been seen before this. Remember, in the state of Assam, which has traditionally been a Congress bastion, the BJP has failed to make significant inroads. But that changed today. And what I want to take you through is first the overall picture in the state of Assam, and then we look at the regions, because the BJP seems to have done well in the Barak Valley, in Lower Assam, and also in Upper Assam. Even in the tea garden areas, which have been traditionally Congress bastions, the BJP has done remarkably well. Overall, the BJP alliance partners are 59 seats up over the last time. The Congress is at 26, down 52. So where are these numbers coming from, and why is it that the BJP has done so well? That answer, Rajdeep, comes when you look at the overall vote share percentages, because the moment you look at the overall vote share percentages, the picture is very clear. The AUDF is where it is at 13%, the BJP at 41%. It's a straight jump of 7%. It's the 7% that the Congress has lost. Looked at very simply speaking, because the minority vote got split between the AUDF and the Congress, the BJP put together this rainbow coalition of the majority and was able to push through because of the work done by the RSS, because of their development agenda, because of the supposed minority appeasement of Tarun Gogoi, because of 15 years of anti-incumbency. All of it together led to a situation where even someone like a Badruddin Ajmal, and I'll just show you key leaders over here, all the other key leaders won, but the ether baron, the perfume baron of Assam, seen as a god to many, especially amongst the illegal immigrants, in Salmara South, on his own seat, Badruddin Ajmal, leader of the AIUDF, has lost, indicating very clearly if what Badruddin Ajmal had been saying the longest time, the Tarun Gogoi and he should fight together. If they'd fought together, they may have been able to hold back the BJP onslaught. But because they fought separately, they lost, and the BJP romped home in style.
Very interesting, because the conventional wisdom that Congress was offering was that the Muslim vote would consolidate and Badruddin Ajmal would be wiped out. That didn't happen. Kishaloi, very interesting, because in Lower Assam in particular, the BJP's picked up seats even in Muslim-dominated areas where the Muslim vote has got split.
Yes, Rajiv, I've been saying that the monolith Muslim vote is a myth in Assam, because in Assam there are many Muslims. There are the immigrant Muslims, there are the indigenous Assamese Muslims, there are the Muslims from UP and upcountry, and they have different names for these Muslims. And in what the ground report suggests, that there are Muslim pockets where they hoping that, or they say that the BJP has got vote. Also,
would it have changed if they had aligned with Ajmal? Do you believe that a Congress-Ajmal alliance would have ensured at least that they had captured Lower Assam?
I don't think so, because that's what I wanted to remind you. That remember, in a couple of years back, Assam's biggest icon, their most loved person, Bhupen Hazarika, who fought on the BJP ticket, lost Guwahati. Today, our former colleague's own maternal uncle won that seat from Guwahati. So the BJP wave is there. I wouldn't say Modi wave, but there is a BJP wave. What the BJP craftily did was that did not make Modi do all the campaigns. They stitched the local alliance with local parties, had a tribal face out there, and I think that worked for them. But the BJP has consolidated, and the BJP wave has not just gone off even after Bihar.
Is there a method, therefore, for the BJP? In a state with the 34% Muslim population, the BJP has done remarkably well. You've got to do it not by constantly reminding your voter that the Muslim is the enemy, but you have to in some way stitch together a much more broad-based alliance. In Bihar, for example, you saw the kind of rhetoric that Amit Shah resorted to, that if you don't vote for us, you can go to Pakistan. That didn't happen in Assam.
As Kishaloi said, in Assam there are at least 4 different types of Muslims, including UP Muslims who came with the Mughals, indigenous Assamese Muslims, old migrants who used to be called the new Assamese many years ago, who speak Assamese in fact, and the more recent so-called illegal migrants. The BJP did not polarize or seek to polarize the election or fall into that trap at all, which worked to its advantage. In putting a tribal face who was not from a caste Assamese background or from a Bengali Hindu background, it produced a candidate who was not hostile to, who was not seen as hostile by any other social group. I think it stitched together a very astute social alliance.
By contrast, the Congress has lost many of those social groups which were traditionally with the Congress. The tea workers, for the longest time, there was a belief that the tea workers was a firm vote. The Bengali Hindus were a firm vote of the Congress party.
Ali Kuli
the Ali Kuli combine that they spoke about. There's a belief that the Congress social you've lost Muslim votes to Mamta in Bengal. You've lost votes in Assam. You're losing votes in Kerala, even in central Kerala. You seem to have lost in some minority pockets. There's a sense that even traditional voters are deserting you, and Assam is a good example.
Rajdeep.
Should you have tied with Ajmal?
Rajdeep, first of all, is the verdict in Assam the result of bad social engineering, or is it the result of 15 years of Congress rule which resulted in anti-incumbency?
Also bad Congress rule.
Well, it is. Well, I don't think it was bad Congress rule. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been repeated 3 times over.
Give me an example. When you say bad Congress rule,
Promise of 65,000 jobs, not one given. 3,000 foundation stone laid by Tarun Gogoi, not one has come up out there. The worst maternal mortality ratio in the country, the worst infant mortality rate in the country, the worst health indicators in the country, worse than Bangladesh. Your development indices out there are so bad, whereas Tripura, a northeastern state out there, has done wonderfully.
Well, so, if the developmental indices were so bad, they have not happened over the last 5 years. Those developmental parameters would have continued over a period of time. So therefore, it is the same people who voted that government back in 3 times. So therefore, I do not think it is so much about social engineering going wrong. But there I agree with you that if we would have, let's say, tied up with the AUDF, possibly we would have ended up doing better. Maybe that's something which we need to go.
But the flip side is people will say you are a party now only of the Muslims or only of the minorities. So you run a risk. If you had tied up with AIUDF, that was the risk that you ran.
Rajdeep, those are the dilemmas. But ultimately, you need to take a call. And maybe in retrospect, given the fact that Ajmal has got 13 or 15 odd seats, perhaps it would have been a good idea.
So another Rahul Gandhi blunder. Another Rahul Gandhi blunder.
It's not a Rahul Gandhi blunder. It's a strategic call that you take. At times it ends up well. At times it doesn't work out the way you wanted it.
Alliance is as pat as some people are suggesting, because in 2011 Tarun Gogoi actually got a caste Assamese Hindu vote. He positioned himself against the Ajmal type of politics, which is why he was so hostile.
That's right. So it worked 5 years ago. It didn't work this time clearly. Yes, quickly.
In Assam, I think BJP learned the lesson from the Bihar defeat. You had the local leaders managing the campaign with the central leadership only providing support. It was entirely a locally managed campaign, which I think was to their advantage because the issues they raised, the focus of the campaign was very much local with very little involvement of leadership from Delhi.
But the one credit that one has to give to Mr. Gogoi, which he obviously people would have forgotten, is that he inherited a bankrupt state which was insurgency prone. I mean, you had massacres every day. Assam is a complete turnaround, and people obviously have forgotten that, but people do forget. I mean, I think public memory is short, so people have forgotten that. But that, I think, when one will have to, give to Gogoi.
Well, that's precisely what I was saying, that in a period of 15 years, at times the negatives overtake the positives.
Just a minute. Rahul, we were supposed to get Ram Madhav. He should hopefully still join us because he was one of the architects. Give me a sense, because you've been speaking to him. What role did the RSS, which has traditionally tried to push its way through the Northeast, what role did the likes of Ram Madhav play in stitching together this broader alliance, bringing in even a Himanta Biswa Sharma from the Congress, bringing in people and building a broader alliance? Was there a conscious attempt not to repeat the mistakes of Bihar?
The RSS believes it's Krishna Gopal who's the key architect of this victory. He, along with Ram Madhav, who's been stationed in Assam for the last several months, with a whole bunch of key RSS people with him, some from Assam, some brought in from the outside. They've been going, like they did in Uttar Pradesh before this, like to some extent they did in Jammu and Kashmir, door to door, to the tea gardens, meeting people, trying to build a sense of a Hindu identity. Remember, that hasn't happened so far. Ashok would bear me out on this. They've tried this experiment in the past where people have voted along religious lines, they voted along religion line, they voted along ethnical lines. They haven't so far really voted as a Hindu whole. They've been able to make that happen. What's also very crucial, and out of the 38 Muslim-dominated seats of Assam, the BJP has won 13, the Congress won 14, the AUDF won 11. So the whole notion, that's the point that Kishle was making, the myth of a Muslim monolith, that's been demolished. There may be people amongst the Muslim community who've chosen not to vote for the BJP, but there are elements in Muslim-dominated pockets also who have voted for the BJP, which is why they won on 13 seats.
Surjit, you wanted to make a point because there was a sense that the BJP perhaps would lose in lower Assam and do very well in upper Assam. That did happen. The BJP is won throughout the state.
Okay. I want to make two quick points about the whole election this time, all the 4 states, and then one specific point that I noticed about Assam. The overall point is that this is the first election since 2014, first set of elections where there wasn't social tension preceding the vote. And I think this helped the BJP a lot. I think it hurt them before, and something went right with the BJP that they didn't fall for the traps that were laid for them in terms of social tension. Second point, I noticed the cake, the color of the cake was green.
White and green.
You yourself said you expected saffron. And this is, if you will, which ties up with the attempt by the BJP, and I think now proving successful, that they have to have at least a secular image, non-communal tension, and they achieved that. Nothing happened, and now rather than what most of us would expect.
But there was a subtle campaign in a sense to say that if the Congress comes to power, then that the migrants will grow. Then let's be clear. Yes, there was not an over-communal campaign, but there is a subtle campaign which played to the Ahomia concerns.
The Congress has played the campaign. There was subterranean tension in Assam. There was subterranean tension in Assam.
Illegal migrants, which is a real issue, actually affects and concerns Assamese Muslims as well.
It does.
And it did end up uniting in this case Assamese speaking Hindus as well as Bengali speaking Hindus who have not traditionally been part of the same coalition.
You know what happened, covering Assam for 2 decades, I've seen the 3 main factors that actually on which people vote out there were immigration, illegal, legal, whatever, insurgency and unemployment. Okay. This time what has happened, insurgency is gone.
Gogoi did very well on that.
Immigration has come back center stage.
That was the big success of Gogoi.
Yeah, but immigration has come back center stage, and the last time that people voted in such numbers was in 85. Again, immigration was the issue that time, if you remember. And interestingly, this is just a little anecdote that we must mention. Chabua, which was Paresh Barua, the commander-in-chief of Alpha's own place, witnessed 100% voting, and a BJP won from there.
Okay, let's look at the man of the moment, Sarbananda Sonowal, 53-year-old sports minister, will be the next chief minister. He is seen by some as charismatic, others believe he was simply the right man, the right place at the right time. Formerly with the AGP, he is now an alternative to the aging Tarun Gogoi. In the end, the gambit paid off for the BJP.
BJP's man of the moment in Assam. Sarbananda Sonowal led the Saffron Party to a massive win, installing the first ever BJP-led government in a northeastern state.
Both Diwali, Holi at once being celebrated here in Assam as the BJP looks in a decisive lead. Himanta Biswa Sharma, Ram Madhav and Sonowal are key architects of this victory.
As results started pouring in, Sonowal was at his constituency, praying at a temple in Majuli and interacting with voters. A low-profile man, but always sporting an infectious smile, the affable Sonowal will be the second tribal chief minister of the state after Jogen Hazarika.
असम की जनता को मैं बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ। ये परिवर्तन जो है, ये परिवर्तन उन्होंने संभव किया।
His stupendous showing won kudos from Prime Minister Modi.
So let them fulfill their promises. I have got best of wishes. I congratulated Sarbananda Sonowal for his grand success.
In 2011, Sonowal had quit the AJP to join the BJP. He was made chief of the Assam state BJP the next year. 2 years later, in 2014, Sonowal led BJP to its best ever show in Lok Sabha polls, delivering 7 seats. The BJP, after picking him as Minister for Youth and Sports Affairs, named him as the chief ministerial candidate.
मेरा तो बहुत नुकसान है, मेरी सरकार का नुकसान है, हिंदुस्तान का नुकसान है, लेकिन आसाम का भला होने वाला है, इसलिए मैंने भेजा है.
Now the affable 53-year-old will be entrusted to run a state as diverse and challenging like Assam. With Ankit Tyagi in Guwahati, Shujoy, India Today.
Sarbananda Sonowal is the man of the moment, but many will say that the man of the match, Rahul, is Himanta Biswa Sharma, because his story, and maybe Manish Tiwari must tell us, because I'm going to play the story that Himanta Biswa, when he came this morning, confirmed. He met Rahul Gandhi 8 times when he was trying to convince Rahul Gandhi to replace Tarun Gogoi. Rahul did not replace Tarun Gogoi after your 2014 debacle. Himanta Biswas eventually left and joined Amit Shah, and when he was with Amit Shah, Rahul was frantically phoning him, and apparently by then it was too late. I'm just wondering whether, since that story is now confirmed, what role did Himanta Biswas play in this campaign?
We saw in his campaign, he had more people coming than at Sarbananda Sonowal's rallies, and this really is a challenge for the BJP now. How do they deal with a very wily, very aggressive Himanta Biswa Sharma? He is a character from the House of Cards. Make no mistake about it, he's hugely ambitious. There is no way he's going to play second fiddle. He didn't
Could
want
he
to
be
play
brought to the centre and made a cabinet
There is
minister?
so much talk in Delhi at this time about a possible reshuffle post the 26th, because the sports minister's position is currently vacant. There are other positions that may want to be changed after the 2-year term get over. If there's also a possibility that Modi may give additional charge to somebody, but no, Ashok, I don't think it's possible for Himanta Biswa Sharma and Sarbananda Sonowal to work together. Himanta Sharma didn't want to work with Tarun Gogoi. There is no way. You have to see what he thinks of Sarbananda Sonowal. He's way too junior.
For the moment, he's staying as number 2 in the cabinet. What happens subsequently, I don't know.
But let's talk about that story. What does it tell you about Rahul Gandhi? 2014, disastrous performance in Assam. Tarun Gogoi offers his resignation. Rahul Gandhi says, no, I will not take your resignation. Himanta Biswa Sharma pushes to be made the chief minister, or at least given charge of the entire campaign. Doesn't happen. Instead, you put your eggs in Gaurav Gogoi's basket. So dynasty politics in Assam cost you.
Rajdeep, first of all, the story is
You're
not
smiling benignly, so I presume you accept what I'm saying.
I'm not accepting what you're saying. I said the story is not correct. The story is untrue. That's a story which has been put out by Mr. Sharma for whatever reasons. But yes, this is correct. He pushed to occupy Tarun Gogoi's job. But the party took a call that no, we will carry on with the chief minister who's been in the saddle for such a long time, and therefore he decided to leave. Such things happen in politics.
But Manish, the Congress currently in Assam is rudderless and leaderless. You got an 80-year-old Tarun Gogoi, the man who could have been his potential replacement is now in the BJP. Gaurav Gogoi is not acceptable to a majority of the party men. They think he's inexperienced, they think he's brash, they're not willing to accept his leadership. The only person who could have been an alternative is currently in the BJP. This is one of your big strength states so far, and now you're in a terrible mess.
Rahul, again, Rajdeep would accuse me of going back to history, but I remember Assam between 1980 and 1990 was a state which had slipped from the hands of the Congress totally. For 5 years there was an agitation. You had repeated governments which were replaced, Congress governments replaced through President's rule. Then you had an ASU AGP government, and the Congress came back. So the Congress will be able to find leadership.
Is clutching at straws by looking at the past.
Well, today you can smirk, but I can tell you, the next time the elections take place, the smirk will be on the other side.
Okay, yes.
That same history tells us that what has happened in Assam has happened in several other states in the last 2 decades, and the Congress has paid the price for not projecting the right leader and defending or supporting or backing somebody who actually did not have public support.
But
it could be Andhra, it could be Karnataka, it could
But
be
are you
Maharashtra,
trying
it
to
could be
say
a
that
range of
the
states.
incumbent chief minister did not have popular public support? I would not buy that. Yes, there could have been a possibility where some people could have been pushing for a change, and maybe that change could have been beneficial for the Congress party. But that's a call that you take. All right, you told Mr. Sharma that let Mr. Gogoi complete his term. You will have the next term. He was not prepared to wait, and he decided to go. And as Rahul was saying, that his going to the BJP actually may turn out to be Sonowal's Achilles heel.
Okay,
over a period of time.
Mr. Gogoi did not have a rich legacy, which he did, but after 15 years the fatigue does set in. So didn't the Congress political instinct see that coming and say, for an election, let's have a new face? Could it be Sharma, could it have been somebody else?
Ashok, you're absolutely correct, but the converse could also be true, that the party tells Mr. Sharma that let the chief minister complete his term. You know, you have age on your side, we'll take you on in the next term.
But
he decided not to
no
wait.
such assurance was forthcoming either.
Well, there was an assurance. I can tell you there was an assurance that allows the chief minister to complete his term, and after that, you obviously are a logical choice among the leaders who are there.
It would be like the crisis of 2014 where you have a retiring leader and nobody in place for the next election.
Even if there was a change in leadership, even if Himanta Biswa Sharma was leading the Congress, I don't think the Congress would have won this election.
Okay, let's take a break on that point. As we go into that, we'll hear Himanta Biswas and others who've given us one-liners through the day about what's happened today, and then we'll go to the state of Kerala. But let's listen into Sarbananda Sonowal and other leaders with their one-liners today. आप फ्यूचर में कांग्रेस के साथ किसी फ्रंट में रहेंगी या उनसे अलग रहेगी? अगर कल राहुल गांधी आपके पास आए और कहे ममता जी हमारी भूल हो गई, आप तैयार हैं?
देखिए, नरेंद्र मोदी जी का सबसे बड़ा यूएसपी तो राहुल गांधी है, और कुछ हम नहीं कहने चाहूंगे अभी।
नरेंद्र मोदी का सबसे बड़ा यूएसपी राहुल गांधी है। आपने एक बड़ी बात कही है। You have said a very big thing there. I want to understand this. What is your relationship with Narendra Modi? I just want to ask Himanta Biswa Sharma whether it is true or not. He can now say it on TV. Is it true that Rahul Gandhi kept him waiting for several weeks, so he went to Amit Shah's house, and when he reached Amit Shah's house, Rahul Gandhi SMS'd him or tried to phone him, and Himanta Biswa said it is too late? Is his anger against Rahul Gandhi and the way he was treated that led him to go to the BJP in the first place?
No, the story is little different. Okay. Rahul gave me audience. I made him 8-9 times. But problem is that when you talk to Rahul, the discussion was so light that even the dogs come in between. He start plays with the dog, not with the human, when you talk with him. So Rahul has given me interview. How can he say I cannot meet him? He has to meet us. But the problem is he is not sincere. Rahul has got the lesson. He should not prefer blue blood people. No, Rahul himself is a blue blood. Huh? In Congress today, if you see Rahul in parliament, the 6 people surrounded him, all are blue blood. So Congress is as of now blue blood.
It's a day of mourning for the Congress party, because not only Congress has lost two of its governments, but actually now today the slogan would be Congress ke haath यानी भस्मासुर के साथ. I think if you go with the Congress, you are also likely to doom.
Acha, you've given me your one line.
That is going across to the country today. The BJP has everything to celebrate.
You've given me your one line.
Yes,
Congress ka haath
यानी भस्मासुर के साथ.
Congress ka haath भस्मासुर. Okay, you made your point. You know, if we can keep it to that one line, it always is more effective. GVL Narasimha Rao, both you and Sambit Patra experts in one line. So Congress ka haath bhasmasur ke saath.
If you want the sunrise, S-U-N, sunrise of your party, please don't think about the sunrise, S-O-N, sunrise. More and more you think about the S-O-N,
good
sunrise.
one line.
Your party sunrise is not going to happen, and that's what is happening in Congress. The dynasty is out.
Okay, I would request my guests in T20 spirit to keep their comments short, but you've given me a good one-liner. If the Congress wants to see a sunrise, then they have to make sure in a way that they will try and create the environment for a sunrise.
I remind Narasimha Rao and others of just a few months ago, perhaps in the same studio.
Yes.
When they were looking at this, and I was happy. So this is part of politics. It's a total joke to suggest that we have either finished totally or that they have won forever. There, compared to what I see in Assam and Bihar, is in Bihar Modi went, they lost. In Assam, Modi didn't go, they won. Therefore, the answer is you remove Modi and the BJP may still survive.
You're clutching at straws. You're clutching at straws today.
You are watching India Today.
Welcome back. We're going state by state before we bring the big national picture at 9 p.m. The next state I want to travel to is Kerala. A state where in this election it became increasingly clear that the 5-year revolving door politics of Kerala still sustains. Every 5 years governments have changed for the last 50 years, and that's exactly what happened today in Kerala. Remember, the pictures that we are getting you now from Kerala suggest, of course, that Achuthanandan is the man to watch. 84 seats to the left front and just 47 to the UDF. Clearly this is the one state where the left got it right. That's exactly what happened there in Kerala. We're showing you Sitaram Yechury. He now has the task to decide who will be the next Chief Minister, Pinarayi Vijayan, or will it be Achuthanandan? Let's go straight across to Rahul to give me a sense in terms of numbers in our election pit as to what happened in Kerala. Rahul.
The big story, apart from the fact that the LDF has come to power, is the fact that the BJP, Rajdeep, has emerged as a force for the future. Remember, they've done well in terms of vote percentages in the 2014 Lok Sabha elections. They've done well, relatively speaking, in comparison with their past track record. They've got 14% vote share, that's up 8 from last time. The LDF has lost just 1% vote share, the UDF has lost 4, but the BJP emerging very clearly as a force for the future in Kerala. I also want to show you now the seat share, because at least in terms of seat share, they've only got one OP Rajagopal who's come in as the first MLA of the BJP after several attempts. But the LDF, they've had reverses in West Bengal, they've had reverses before this in Kerala. Finally, they've been able to come to power. The question, of course, Rajdeep, is between Vijayan and Achuthanandan, who will they pick? But it's interesting, though, to see that Prime Minister Narendra Modi tweeted a short while before now congratulating VS Achuthanandan. So right now, there's this big debate happening in left circles about whether it will be Pinarayi Vijayan or VS Achuthanandan. The Prime Minister has congratulated Achuthanandan on that victory. And as a consequence of all of this, we've got Sitaram Yechury off the left dancing. He, of course, as you said, has the challenge of picking the Chief Minister from here. But after almost 10 years when they won last in Kerala and after that debacle in West Bengal, the left finally has something to celebrate.
Something to celebrate. Sandeep Shastri, can I take it as the natural order of life in Kerala where every 5 years governments change? Or was there something special about, given the scale of the victory compared to even 2011?
Though the revolving door has been a part of Kerala, the difference between the ruling and the opposition alliance is never so big as this time. There is a difference of 37 seats between the ruling and the opposition. So I think while the revolving door works, I think the LDF has also capitalized on the advantages it had. I think Kerala this time is seeing a change in terms of the social coalitions. The Idava vote was clearly split between the LDF and the emerging BJP. But the minority vote also was not consolidated by the Congress, and a chunk of the minority vote has gone to the LDF. And the difference of vote share of LDF, UDF is just 1%. Is just 1%. And this 14% which BJP has gained there, I think is a critical factor. And in the years to come, that's going to be a key player.
Yes, he's right. The Congress has been slipping. Even the last time the Congress did not win a majority on its own. It needed support from the allies. It was expected that the Idava vote would be taken by the BJP and the left would be hurt. But the minority vote shifted to the stronger non-BJP force, which was the left. So the Congress is actually in a bit of danger. A little more of a push and the BJP could race much further ahead and start actually picking up a lot of seats. So the Congress is at the edge of a precipice in Kerala.
It's interesting because Kerala, many BJP supporters believe, is today at a stage where Karnataka was 20-25 years ago, and that's where the BJP really made its breakthrough in the south. But one person who perhaps will hope to become India's oldest ever Chief Minister, Karunanidhi, has lost the opportunity, but Achuthanandan has the ability. At 92, he could well be Chief Minister. Let's look at the story of VS Achuthanandan.
This is the man of the moment. A seasoned politician, an astute campaigner, a mass leader without parallel. One with highly acerbic communication style and ability to decimate political opponents with his unique dialogue delivery. V.S. Achuthanandan is a phenomenon in himself. And this was his 8th assembly elections. He first contested 49 years ago in 1967 from Ambalapura. In all this time, he has been Chief Minister just once. But at the age of 92, instead of taking hiatus from the electoral race, VS is on the verge of becoming Kerala's Chief Minister for the second time. VS has been a torchbearer and star campaigner for the LDF. So a large part of the credit for this splendid win for the CPIM-led Left Democratic Front goes to this nonagerian's campaign and appeal. VS breathes politics 24/7. Once considered a communist hardliner, he has grown to be the people's hero. Not many political leaders in India can match his charisma, popularity and vigor. Thanks to his disciplined lifestyle, even at this age, VS is geared up for more battles, a feat few others of his ilk can claim. V.S. Achuthanandan joined the Communist Party at the age of 14. He was jailed during the freedom movement, but his rise to prominence only came much later. It happened in 1980 when he became CPIM State Secretary during E.K. Nayanar's Chief Ministership. V.S. was seen as a crude, apart chick, lost in the shadow of towering stalwarts like EMS and Nayanar. Kerala's political pendulum, oscillating between the Congress and the left, also cheated him of a few chances to be CM. India's senior-most communist leader, he's the only surviving comrade who walked out of undivided CPI to form the CPIM after ideological differences shook the Indian left movement in the early 1960s. After being essentially an organization builder for much of his career, holding key posts like the State Secretary, what metamorphosed Achuthanandan into a mass leader was his stint as opposition leader during 2001-2006. Within the party though, he has been a perpetual rebel, locking horns with Pinnarai Vijayan over control of the state leadership. An old-school Marxist, for those outside CPM, Achuthanandan's inner party rivals have often accused him of being the prime source of long-drawn factional trends in the state unit. At the ripe old age of 92, he has redefined the art of political survival and indispensability. He has shown he is still agile and young at heart, establishing a presence on social media and even shooting selfies with selfie sticks. Clearly, the results of Assembly elections 2016 have proved him indomitable. And he's proven that the old war horse is nowhere close to riding into the sunset just yet.
V.S. Achuthanandan, proving age is no barrier when it comes to becoming Chief Minister. That's one of the fascinating aspects of this election, Surjit. You've got a 92-year-old, you know, who shows...
Who does not look 92.
Who doesn't look 92. Karunanidhi looks 93, some would say. At least he's, you know, he's suffered from ill health. But many would say that the people of Kerala, in a sense, have also thrown up a new dimension, the BJP dimension which has come up in this election. Do you subscribe to the view that Kerala will go the Karnataka way in the next 10-15 years, where the BJP grows at the expense of the Congress?
I think very good chance, actually.
A very good chance of that happening. So you are sticking to your theory that you've stuck to over the last few days, that the Congress is going to be on the decline in these states.
And that the natural party for people to gravitate to is the BJP. It's just, you know, think back 50 years and everybody wanted to gravitate towards the Congress, either in alliance or as actual support. Now the whole center of gravity has shifted from the BJP, from the Congress to the BJP, and I think the campaign in Kerala was the only place, but I think even in Tamil Nadu, the BJP has a very good chance, because I think regional leaders, the two regional leaders that are there, the DMK and the two regional parties, will tend to, this is the last hurrah.
You know, it's interesting because one of the battles within a battle, one of the issues that has not been settled, and my colleague T.S. Sudhir is joining me in just a moment to explain that battle, which is Pinarayi Vijayan versus Achuthanandan. Between Pinarayi Vijayan and Achuthanandan, who will win that battle is a big question. And that is a battle which has to be settled. You know, my sense at the moment is that you've got two views within the party. Brinda Karat of the CPM was the one who I had spoken to earlier today, and she was explaining this issue. Is there a battle between Pinarayi Vijayan and Achuthanandan? T.S. Sudhir, our editor South, who do you expect to become the next Chief Minister? Vijayan, or will it be Achuthanandan?
Well, a lot will depend on Sitaram Yechuri, Rajdeep, because if the MLAs are to decide, then a lot of them will be in support of Pinarayi Vijayan. They would want the 74-year-old leader who has been CPM secretary of Kerala in the past, a strong man, complete control, known to be a good administrator as well, has age on his side as compared to the 92-year-old Achuthanandan, would be the front runner. But would the CPM want to treat Achuthanandan a little more decently? That call has to be taken by Yechuri.
So could there be what you told me in the morning, the 1 year, 4 year formula, that for the first year it is Achuthanandan, and then for the next 4 years it could be Vijayan?
Surprisingly, I heard this in Vijayan's backyard in Kannur district, that they said that Achuthanandan, even though he had his huge differences with Vijayan, perhaps could be made the Chief Minister for a year, and then Vijayan could take over.
Hopefully Achuthanandan will leave. If he decides not to leave.
I think if you also look at popular mood, who campaigned and what is the expectation of the LDF voter, I think Achuthanandan is much more in the imagination of the voter than Vijayan is.
Including the young voters who are completely captivated by the manner, by the style of his oratory. He's a captivating speaker, Achuthanandan, and much of the credit for the LDF victory has to go to Achuthanandan.
So that battle will be there. As I said, Brinda Karat is someone who perhaps is part of that CPIM leadership here in Delhi. This decision will be taken, as Sudhir is saying, as much in Delhi as it will be taken in the state capital. So we'll wait to hear from Brinda in a moment. But the sense one is getting that Kerala's politics is also now at the cusp of change. That what we've seen in this election is that the duopoly of these two, UDF, LDF, is threatened by the BJP, and social coalitions are churning very fast. You mentioned minority groups shifting. Somewhere Kerala also is seeing change.
Sure. And I think as in West Bengal and in Kerala, the emergence of the BJP as a key player in the years to come, I think is going to pose an important challenge to Congress-led coalition, because if the Congress and its supporters do not really get their act together, it's well possible that the BJP positions itself to be one of the key players to challenge the party in power. So I think, and that is clearly the strategy of the BJP, that in these states where it is emerging as a player, be it West Bengal, be it Kerala, they hope to over time displace the second major player so that they emerge in that position.
Also do remember that as the oil economy dries up in the Arab world, the Kerala economy, the expat economy in Kerala is set to see a dramatic change, and that will pose a challenge that Kerala has not faced for several decades.
Yes. Just to add a small point to what Professor Shastri said, one of the campaign points of the UDF was that of the BJP was that from the UDF, the three big leaders, Umman Chandi, a Christian, KM Mani, a Christian, PK Konalukutty, a Muslim. You do not have any Hindu face in the UDF, and this is something the BJP has been hammering at during the entire election campaign.
Interesting. Let's just listen into Brinda Karat, because let's try and see whether the CPM is willing to settle that question right away. Vijayan or Achuthanandan for Chief Minister of Kerala? This is what Brinda Karat told me when I spoke to her earlier today.
You've had an opportunity to think at some level at least about why the left has not been able to resurrect itself in West Bengal. Far from being able to put up a tough fight, you've actually not been in the fight at all in West Bengal, and that really is very disconcerting given the traditional position the left has had in the state of West Bengal. Do you think it's the alliance with the Congress where neither the arithmetic nor the chemistry seem to work?
As I said, Rahul, I mean, I think they're completely legitimate questions that you're asking, but these are very, very serious issues for us, and I cannot give you glib answers. It does need a deep introspection and a review. But what I will say is, for the last 5 years, the way that the left and the left cadre have withstood the attacks on them in Bengal by the TMC, and many of you who had visited Bengal during these elections had also commented about the fear factor in West Bengal. I think the Election Commission also got a dose of it when they were threatened by the TMC and its Supremo. So there are various factors at work in West Bengal, and of course we also have to look at our own performance in the last 5 years. We had recovered to some extent during the local polls, and now with this result, obviously we require to look at in a more deeply political framework whether or not our tactics were correct.
Let's for a moment shift our gaze from West Bengal to Kerala. While you won this time, of course, and that is indeed praiseworthy, you also now have in the BJP an emerging third force. They've upped their vote share percentage to roughly the same level where they were in the Lok Sabha elections. They may not have converted those into seats in this election, but they've opened their account. Does that potentially signal a threat to the LDF going forward, where the BJP can hope to do what it did in Assam, rally the Hindu voters, rally the majority, say that there's a lot of minority appeasement going on over here. In Assam, they got voters to vote beyond ethnicity, beyond region, and therefore they did well. Do you fear the BJP doing the same to you in Kerala as well, ma'am?
I fear for India that the BJP continues its completely divisive type of politics. And as you say, whether it's caste or religion, you can be sure the BJP is going to use it. I hear they're talking about identity in Assam, and when they talk about identity, they are targeting who they call the Bengali Muslim immigrants, whereas in fact they are targeting the entire minority community. So I fear for India. As far as Kerala is concerned, I can assure you, and all democratic secular-minded citizens who may be listening to this show, that Kerala will never go the BJP way. And this time, in spite of the huge money that was spent, you cannot imagine the kind of money that the BJP spent and the kind of RSS force. In fact, the BJP president was boasting that he has 5,000 RSS cadre working for him in just that one constituency brought in from outside. But it didn't work. Where it did work and where they did get a seat, if you look at the UDF vote, you will find that it has come down so drastically that clearly there was a deal, and it is courtesy the UDF that the BJP has got a representative in the Kerala Assembly. It is completely courtesy the UDF.
That's a serious charge that you are leveling. I don't know whether there is enough evidence at hand just yet to back it, but you're saying that, oh, Rajagopal has won actually because the Congress conceded defeat or actually worked in tandem with the BJP on that particular seat. But tell me, Ms. Karat, and I know this is going to be a tricky question, so this is my dusra for you. Pinarayi Vijayan or V.S. Achuthanandan, who will be the next Chief Minister of Kerala, ma'am?
Well, it will be decided very soon in Kerala, and we won't keep you in suspense on that. And it's going to be a very smooth procedure within our party, and it will be announced. But just, if you don't mind, Rahul, just to go back to the courtesy UDF issue that I raised, please look at the vote share of the UDF vis-a-vis the BJP, and you can see where the transfer vote is taking place. And also, if you want to do really micro-analysis, the UDF didn't even send its polling agents into a seat which it had held. So my point is that what the Congress is doing in Kerala, paving the way for the BJP, what the Mamta government had done during the Vajpayee years, paving...
Okay, there you have Brinda Karat refusing to really commit herself to will it be Pinarayi Vijayan or Achuthanandan. Just enough time to thank all my guests, and then of course Rahul and I will look at the big national picture where we'll get all our newsmakers coming in. All the big national leaders are joining us at 9 p.m. from the major parties. Enough time to thank T.S. Sudhir, Sandeep Shastri, Ashok Malik, Kishaloi Bhattacharjee and Surjit Bala. Thank you very much for joining us on yet another counting day. And we are going into the break with the lungi dance. So that's the best way to take a break and then come back, where we'll be joined and ask the big question: are we really heading towards a Congress Mukt Bharat, or is that simply a BJP propaganda? That's when we return.